Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. My name is Rozell, and I'm a software engineer on the React team at Meta, working primarily on desktop platforms for React Native. I'm proud to be giving this talk today on React Native Desktop alongside one of our collaborators from Microsoft, Stephen Moyes, representing the amazing work that both companies are doing to help push forward the many platforms vision for React. Our talk is broken up into two parts. For the first part, we'll talk about React Native Desktop at Meta in the context of the Messenger desktop app. And in the second, Stephen will talk about React Native at Microsoft and their efforts on desktop platforms. I'm super excited to be giving this talk. Way back in 2016, I came to ReactConf as an attendee with my former colleagues from Microsoft to talk with Facebook engineers, or I guess now Meta engineers, about extending React Native to Windows and the open source project we had just kicked off. The React Native team's emphasis on the many platforms vision and the content we are sharing here today makes it feel like that effort has come full circle. Just this August, the React Native team released a blog post about the many platforms vision, which you should definitely go check out. You can find it on the link at the bottom of the slide, or by searching for React Native Many Platforms Vision. It covers some of the motivations for the many platforms vision, how the guiding principles for React Native were already aligned with the opportunity to expand to new platforms, and some examples of new investment areas that Meta is making in React Native, like desktop and VR. At Meta, one of our first forays into the many platforms vision for React has been the Messenger desktop app for Mac and Windows. Messenger Desktop first released in 2019. It was built on Electron with TypeScript and React, and it worked really well. When Messenger started working on new augmented reality features for their video calling experience, they did, however, run into some limitations with the WebRTC module available to Electron. To work around these limitations, they considered a number of options. Forking Electron to shim in customizations for streaming video, but that would require significant effort to keep in sync with upstream Electron changes. Pumping in frames generated by OpenGL to WebGL, which incurred some performance limitations. Writing a cross-platform window in Qt, which would not leverage the core skill sets of the team in React and JavaScript. And of course, building out the experience in React Native. Ultimately, as you might have guessed given the context of this talk, the team landed on React Native as the technology platform for the RTC call window, as it had a number of benefits. It allowed them to build custom controls for video rendering and to leverage pre-existing OpenGL code for augmented reality effects used across other apps at Meta. It retained a cross-platform approach for shared UI and business logic in the call window, including integration with the C++ native modules for calling. Being at Meta, the team had access to quite a few engineers with React Native expertise. And perhaps most importantly, since Messenger Desktop was already built on React in TypeScript, the effort could be accomplished as a refactoring rather than a rewrite, so much of the pre-existing React code, including components, hooks, and state management, could be reused, and the team's pre-existing skill sets in React and JavaScript transferred easily. The team launched the React Native call window in December 2020. Here's a look at some of the features. With the ability to reuse OpenGL code from other Meta video apps through native modules in React Native, the Messenger team was able to easily roll out a wide array of augmented reality features in their video calling experience. With MiniView, users can free up screen real estate while screen sharing or multitasking, and with React Native's full control over the windowing APIs on each platform, the MiniView feature can customize window rendering for transparency and other effects. With Watch Together, the Messenger team leveraged the native media players on each platform to allow groups to watch their favorite content together. And lastly, given the rich animation capabilities of React Native on all platforms, Messenger built out a participant reordering feature that allows smooth transitions as you drag and drop call participants around the window. After unblocking these exciting features in the call window and seeing some promising results in regards to performance and reliability, the Messenger team made the decision to migrate the rest of the app, including chat, to React Native, which has just launched on macOS in October and is soon to follow on Windows. You can see here that the user experience is not much different between the Electron app on the left and the React Native app on the right, largely because they were able to reuse so much of the existing code. With the full migration, the team saw a significant improvement in performance and reliability, including a more than 80% reduction in binary size, a 60% improvement in cold start times, a 50% improvement on app crashes, as well as a decrease in users experiencing high CPU and memory usage. Migrating to React Native also unlocked new platform features for Messenger Desktop. As is the case of React Native on any platform, you can build truly native experiences that make the app familiar to users of that platform, whether it's platform-specific background textures like acrylic and mica on Windows, integration with system-level theming for components and window styles, or native context menus and flyouts. Additionally, React Native for Desktop offers the same incredible developer experience that you expect from React Native on mobile and React on web. With options like fast refresh, you can see your UI changes live in a running native app. Even animations, which are notoriously difficult to tweak in a native app without recompiling. Here we show just that, as we experiment with some of the animation parameters for a new feature being launched on Messenger Desktop called Chat Bubbles. Chat Bubbles is a compact chat window experience that you can keep open while your app is minimized or running in the background to give you quick access to your recent or favorite contacts. What's even more amazing about the developer experience for React Native on desktop is that we can connect apps running on both Mac and Windows to the same JavaScript bundler so that you can simultaneously see how the changes you make affect the user experience on both platforms. Messenger Desktop is built on the open source projects for React Native Windows and React Native macOS. The migration effort has strengthened the collaboration on React Native between Meta and Microsoft, and our overlapping interests in the library and ecosystem have expanded over time. Microsoft and Meta are collaborating not only on desktop platforms, but also open source releases, Hermes, mobile platforms, and TypeScript code gen for native modules, among many other things. To talk more about this, I'll hand it over to our esteemed collaborator, Stephen Moyes, to cover React Native at Microsoft, desktop platform futures, and how this many platforms vision benefits the entire React ecosystem.
Thanks, Eric. Hello, my name is Stephen Moyes, and I'm here representing the React Native team at Microsoft. There are many teams and engineers working on React and React Native at Microsoft, and I'm super excited to share how some of our investments and vision are for the React Native for Desktop project. Eric talked about Messenger specifically, which is an example of a great success story using React Native for Desktop. I'd like to take a step back and talk about the overall React Native for Desktop platform, vision, and roadmap. Let's kick it off by asking how and why is Microsoft using React Native? Microsoft is a relative newcomer to the space, so I wanted to plainly explain why our team is betting big on React and React Native. The first and primary reason that Microsoft is invested in React Native is because we have multiple cross-platform apps that need to be able to run really great on many platforms. Take Office, for example. Office runs everywhere that you are, including on mobile and desktop. The Office team is using React Native to build unified experiences throughout the app catalog. On screen, I've got a GIF showing the commenting experience, which looks the same whether you're on your phone or at your desktop. And this unified commenting experience is written in React Native. The second example that I'd like to give is the suite of Xbox apps. Several Xbox experiences, including the Store app on Xbox consoles like the Series X and Series S devices, and the Xbox app on Windows PCs, are written from the ground up using React Native for Windows. Similar to the Messenger app that Eric described at the beginning, Xbox explored using Electron at first, but found that React Native helped the team build a beautiful performant app that leverages the native platform in a really seamless way. I'll be sharing a demo of the Xbox app on PC here in a few minutes. The final example that I would like to give is the Power Apps player. Power Apps is a platform that allows folks to build low and no-code apps that are usable across a variety of devices, including both mobile and desktop. Power Apps is betting on React Native to realize the many platforms vision and share a bunch of code across devices. I've shown you a few of the apps that use React and React Native within Microsoft, but we know that React Native is a really great choice for developers outside of Microsoft too. Here at Microsoft, we love developers, and we want to enable React and React Native developers such as yourselves to bring your apps to desktop. We know that JavaScript, React, and React Native have huge developer communities. I've got some stats from this year's Stack Overflow developer survey, which indicate that JavaScript is the most commonly used programming language, and that React.js is the most commonly used web framework, and we're blown away by the incredible things that this community is able to build. We want you to be able to bring your apps to the billion-plus Windows users in a really great and natural way. Whether you have expertise in JavaScript, or React.js, or React Native app for mobile, our goal is to ensure that you can use your skills to bring your apps to more users and more endpoints. Earlier, I touched on the Xbox app, so let's take a look at a demo. This app allows you to manage your game library, download new games from Game Pass, and socialize with friends. Notice the beautiful user experience, including animations and multimedia. Performance is also super snappy. Similar to Messenger, the Xbox team initially explored using Electron, but found that React Native helped them make a super performant app that takes advantage of the native platform. In their tests, the Xbox team found that memory consumption went from 1.6 gigs down to 350 megs. CPU usage spikes went from 50% down to 30%. Now let's take a step back. The React Native mantra is learn once, write anywhere. And our goal is to ensure that that includes both mobile and desktop. We strive to make bringing your React Native app to desktops both on Windows and macOS straightforward. I'd like to share some progress towards that goal. The first thing to call out is that we're working to keep the desktop platform releases in sync with core so that you can write your app against a single version of React Native. The newest version of RN Core is version 66, which came out in October. And just a few days later, React Native for Windows version 66 came out too. Now we still have some work to catch macOS up, since it's currently on version 64, but we're actively working on this, and we expect to be caught up within the next year. We're also working to enable the Hermes JavaScript engine to be the default engine for desktop, and we're also working closely with Meta to ensure that the desktop platform is ready for the updated React Native architecture. Secondly, I wanted to highlight that React Native for desktop unlocks the power of the native platform. React Native desktop apps feel supernatural on Windows and macOS because they leverage the underlying native platform. On Windows, for example, your React Native apps will get the latest Windows 11 styles and animations. Here, I've got a GIF of the React Native Gallery app showing the switch control. Notice that the switch has subtle animations introduced in Windows 11 built right into the core switch component. Finally, I'd like to talk about how React Native for desktop fits into the overall React and React Native ecosystem. On our team, we believe that we can leverage the strengths of Meta, Microsoft, and the community to build a better platform for all React and React Native developers. We truly believe that a high tide raises all ships, and our collaboration across the industry embodies that mission. We're also learning from the React web ecosystem. For example, the web already has a defined set of keyboarding APIs, which are very relevant for users of desktop devices who are primarily interacting with keyboard and mouse. We're taking inspiration from the web's keyboarding APIs to help inform the React Native core implementation. This will help developers who are coming from web to bring their skills to React Native. Finally, we're using React Native for desktop to incubate ideas before we contribute them back to core. One example of this is Platform Color, which is an API that we added in React Native version 64. Platform Color lets you access the native platform's accent and theme color. We incubated the Platform Color API on Windows first, since Windows has had the notion of accent and theming for many, many years. But now that iOS and Android have it too, we were able to standardize this API across platforms. These are all examples of how React and React Native work together to lift the entire ecosystem. To wrap it up, I'd like to repeat that Meta and Microsoft are working very closely together to help make sure that React and React Native are better for all developers. React Native helps drive real business-critical apps, including Messenger Desktop, Office, Xbox, and more. So whether you have expertise in React.js, or you're a React Native for mobile developer, or you just want to build apps using JavaScript, we hope that you're excited to get started building React Native for desktop apps. You can visit aka.ms/React Native to get started today. Thank you so much.